Today we're going to practice painting details on our work. The detail layer of our paintings will help us to refine shapes, add more texture, and a chance to add other patterns. Today we will use different size brushes, water, have tissue papers, paint, and other tools to create marks on the paper. Please make sure your name and table code is clearly written on your paper. The techniques we're going to use are different kinds of brush strokes: outline, stippling, and dry brush. Starting with a round brush, I'm going to dip it into the paint. The reason the round brush is good for this is that I can have it balanced just on the tips of the bristles. Freeform, you can try to move the brush across the paper to see how thin, how squiggly you can get your brush strokes. For thick to thin, try drawing a line across that section by pressing the brush on its side and then slowly lifting it up as you pull the brush across the paper. In the commas area, you're going to try using the side of the brush as you're swooping it down. So I'm pressing down and swooping the brush to the side, almost like it's flicking the paint onto the paper. If you do these techniques with a flat brush, you'll notice you get different results. Even though I'm holding the brush in the same way and trying to do the same amount of pressure when I'm doing thick to thin or commas, you'll notice that how I twist the flat brush or how I press it down gives you different effects. Outline is exactly the way it sounds. It's using paint to help create a clear definition between the foreground and the background of your piece. It helps the shapes stand out against the background. This painting by Ripple Root shows how different brushstrokes can give texture and outline to make your image really stand out. Our next technique is called stippling. Often artists use the back of their paintbrush, a small stick, or a cotton bud in order to get small dots. If you notice, I press the paint in multiple times to get different sized dots. You can also see what it's like to do stippling on top of another color. If you look close at this Georges Seurat's painting of the Eiffel Tower, you can see how stippling or pointillism near each other gives beautiful colors transitioning from one to another and a very cool texture. The last technique is something called dry brush. It may sound funny because paint is wet, but trust me, it works. With the dry brush, you're just going to put paint on the very tips of the bristles and hold your brush straight up and down in order to let the bristles show the texture on your paper. I like to think of it as I'm almost tickling the brush onto the paper just to get the very tips of it. This painting by Chen Rong shows how he used dry brush to create a smoky texture in the background. Now it's your turn to try these techniques and to see how you can apply it to your work.